right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get it while the getting is good. Um, I am the Art King. I appreciate you all for tuning into my channel today. And what we're going to be working on today is drawing from the holster. Now, I do have two different types of holsters. I do have an outside the waistband holster, and then I do have a concealed carry holster. I do have two types of concealed carry holsters. So I'm going to teach you guys the efficient and safe way to draw from your holster from a concealed carry standpoint and a open carry standpoint. Okay. So first things first, we are going to clear our weapon. We have the Honorable Glock 17 Gen 4 clear. All right. So safety is first, always. All right. So for this exercise, I do have to take off my weapon light. That's one thing I like about these weapon lights. They're really easy to mount and dismount. All you need is like a, well, especially for this Streamlight TLR1, all you need is a quarter or a nickel. Kind of unscrew it. You don't have to have like an actual tool like a screwdriver or something like that. Okay, so the weapon is clear. All right. So first thing we're gonna jump onto is I'm gonna do the open carry first. Okay. So I forgot what these are Phobos holsters. I had this one for about, let's say, 2-3 years, something like that, and it's really worked out phenomenally well. Okay. I have no complaints about it. It has a little retention screw right there, so the tighter that you screw it down, the harder it is to pull out the holster. Okay, you don't want it so loose to the point where if you jiggle it up and down like that, that's gonna fall completely out the holster, because that means if you fall or you tumble on the ground, then you're gonna have that issue, right? So you snatch it straight out and it works out really well. Okay, so I like to keep mine tucked about right there. It's not too close to the body. I'm gonna have to take my knife off to kind of get an efficient draw. So with open carry, well, any type of carry, number one, you have to have a good belt. Okay, I do like the belts that have the ratchet system. Okay, I don't like the belt buckle type thing, like the dress belts and everything like that. Leather belts are really good, but after a while, those holes start to deform on you, and it's not as tight as it once was. You know, there's only a limited setting. So if you start to gain weight or lose weight, then you're gonna have to go buy another belt. All right, something that fits you actually well. But this belt you can find on Amazon. It's called Fairwind Tactical. I think I only paid like $20 for it, and I had it for about 4 years. Okay, never had any problems with it. All right, so number one, you want to have a good belt. Okay, hands down. Good belt is the key to a successful draw. Okay, next thing you want to have is a good holster. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them at this one I got at Academy Sports about, I think, 2-3 years ago. Want to have a nice sturdy Kydex holster. Okay, stay away from the nylon holsters. Okay, and if you don't know what nylon is, you'll find them in Walmart. Those are the ones with the like that soft cushion type stuff. Like you can squeeze it and deform it, right? I try to stay away from those because they don't allow you to get a full grip on your weapon, okay, when it's time to draw. Okay, there's too much of the material covering like the beaver tail right here, okay, on both sides. So you want to be able to grab that gun and get the web of your hand as high up on that beaver tail as you possibly can when you're drawing your weapon, okay? So you don't have to fumble around and readjust when you're going out there to drive that weapon, okay? So I can do it from this side. We don't have any neighbors outside right now, so I think that I'm good, okay? So As far as drawing from the holster, of course, most people are going to carry it on their dominant side. I am right-handed, so this is the position that I carry my weapon in. Okay. Now, when you're drawing your weapon, of course, you got two hands. Okay. You know for a fact that this hand is going to be reaching for the weapon. All right. Now, what is this hand doing? The non-dominant hand. Okay. Typically, what I like to do is I like to keep it in what I call a workspace. Okay, this is my workspace right here. So anytime that I'm drawing my weapon, I do have sort of like that boxing stance, okay, which they call the Weaver stance. You got the Weaver stance and the isosceles stance, okay. Isosceles is basically that triangular stance. Weaver stance is like you getting ready to fight, okay. So I do like the Weaver stance because it helps me deal with a lot of the recoil. It helps me deal with a lot of the like if the person is able to run up on me and you know, get within arm's reach. If they try to knock me back or knock me down, then at least I have this support leg here to keep me from fumbling backwards. Okay, you don't want to be on your back in a street fight or in a gunfight. Okay, that's the last place that you want to be. All right, so I'm standing in the Weaver stance. I have my non-dominant hand in my workspace. Okay, right here at the around the diaphragm or the chest, right? You can have it up here. And what I'm doing is, again, all I'm doing is I'm taking the web of my hand and I'm getting it as high up as I possibly can. Okay, right there on that beaver tail. I'm wrapping my fingers around the frame and I'm keeping my trigger finger pointed down. That's all I'm doing. It's a simple task, okay? And I'm drawing that weapon. And the reason why I'm keeping my hand right here is because I don't want it to get in the way of anything else, okay? I'm simply pulling up, okay? Non-dominant hand still in my workspace, and I'm keeping that firearm close to my body, all right? Now, as I'm doing that, my non-dominant hand is coming and is meeting my dominant hand, okay? Now here's where it gets tricky because you have a lot of people who grip their firearms totally different, okay? So you have some people who grab it under, you have some people who grab it here. Then you have a lot of people who make this big mistake of wrapping their thumb around the back, which is exactly how you get slide bite. Now what is slide bite? Every time that you pull the trigger on a semi-automatic weapon, or on a semi-automatic pistol, I should say, this slide is going to continue to jump back every time with every shot, okay, until that magazine is empty. Now, one of the things that I've seen a lot of people do is they'll wrap their finger around the top, and that slide has got to go somewhere, okay? And when that slide drops, it's taking a chunk out your finger, okay? And it's not taking like a big, like, I don't know, I don't even know what to compare it to. But it's not taking out a large chunk of meat out your finger. It's just, it's cutting it up pretty good though, okay? It's almost like you fell and scraped your hand on the pavement. That's exactly what it looks like by the end of the, a few shots. The first shot, it might not do it so bad. The third, second, third, or fourth shot, it really will catch you, okay? So, which is why it's imperative that you take that non-dominant hand, and basically what you're doing is you're wrapping it all the way around, okay? So your fingers are meeting your knuckles, okay? Now, what is your thumb doing? There's a part on the gun or the pistol called the accelerator, okay? Now, if your fingers are long enough, it'll ride right there, okay? It does the same thing on the other side as far as the trigger finger if you're not ready to shoot, which is what I highly recommend you guys working on first, making sure that you keep that finger off the trigger, because if you put your finger on that trigger and it's a high stress situation and you know you jump or you get scared or whatever the case may be, you pull that trigger, you could shoot yourself in the foot, you could hit somebody that you're trying to protect, You know, it's a whole plethora of things that could go wrong. Okay, so let's get back to it. All right, so have my hands wrapped around the pistol. Okay, you don't have to squeeze it tight. You don't have to like bulge your muscles when you grab your gun. You just relax. Okay, have a nice firm grip, but nothing too tight. Okay, and I'm here. All I'm doing now, I'm trying to figure out a way I can, okay. All I'm doing now is I'm basically driving that pistol straight up to my line of sight. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Okay, now we could get into the sight picture and everything like that a little bit later. I'll make a totally different video for that. Okay, so it's really not hard, and I could go over it again. Okay, so first of all, weapon is clear. Okay, already cleared it before. Magazine is right here. Bullet is right there. All right, so we're gonna put that back in there. Okay, I'm gonna go that. We're gonna go slow motion, and I'm gonna speed it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna go somewhat the actual speed of what I normally can do. Okay, so again, there's a threat. You know for a fact that you're gonna have to defend your life and draw your weapon. Non-dominant hand on your workspace. Pledge of allegiance. Accept the opposite side. I know it's your right hand and not your left hand. All right. Hand on your firearm. Web of hand as far up on that beaver tail as you can get it. Wrap those fingers around. Trigger finger on the accelerator, or at this time it's going to be on the holster. Draw it up. Bring it up. Okay. And your hand, non-dominant hand, is meeting that weapon at the same time, and you're driving straight out. Okay? And that's exactly how you should finish. Okay? Your arms, you do have different types of positions that you can hold that firearm. So as far as your arms going straight out, that is one method. Sometimes I do like to keep a slight bend in my elbow on my non-dominant arm, okay, because my body is canted to the right a little bit. Okay, so as I'm bringing it up, my left hand is going to be a little bit further out, right, but I have to compensate for that extra space. Okay, so I'll keep my right hand straight as possible, but I'll keep my left hand or left arm slightly bent. Okay, so that's exactly what you're looking for. All right. Now stance is a totally different thing. We can go over that in another video. Again, it's not going to be today that I get into that. All right. So that was slow. About a medium setting. Boom. All right. And hopefully I didn't tighten this thing down too much. I do like my holsters a little bit tighter on my weapons so they're not falling out and, you know, flying all across the floor like in the movies. All right, I don't want that to happen. All right, so if I see a threat, I know that he's coming to kill me. Boom. Oh, yeah, it was too tight that time. So see, I gotta readjust that one. Let me see, actually I can go ahead and do it right now so that I give you guys an excellent example of how to get it done. All right, so that quarter is a little bit too thick. Try my keys real quick. Keys might be too thick too. Oh no, it's moving. All right. Actually, could use my fingernail. All right, so we're gonna try that again. Uh-oh. There we go, that might be a little bit better. All right, so let's reholster that weapon. Let's go ahead and put it back in the pants. All right, so about a 50% speed. See the threat coming. Non-dominant hand in my workspace. Grabbing my weapon. There we go, that was a much smoother draw. All right, so that's all I'm doing. Okay, again, if I see the threat coming, right, I like to keep my My knees slightly bent, lean forward a little bit as if I'm about to box, okay? And all I'm doing is workspace, weapon, draw, straight out, okay? Now I'm not gonna do it as fast as I can, but I'm gonna speed it up a lot more, okay? So once again, the weapon is clear. Putting it back in that holster. I see that threat, okay? All right, that's all I'm doing, okay? Once you train habitually, once you keep doing it over and over again, you won't have any problems, you won't have any issues, okay? You just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it'll become second nature to you. It'll become like muscle memory, all right? Which is why you see a lot of those guys in the law enforcement and military, they're able to draw so efficiently, okay? So again, one more time. All right, I see the threat coming. Workspace, boom. That's all I'm doing. My hand has a mutual agreement. It's compromising. My non-dominant hand is compromising with my dominant hand. It says, okay, you grab the weapon and I'll meet you up there, okay? So I'm here, boom, boom, boom. All right, smooth transition, all right? Again, and anytime that you're holstering your weapon, anytime that you are not manipulating your weapon or I don't know, transitioning from defense mode to peace mode is what I like to call it. Okay, going from war to peace, this non-dominant hand stays out of the way. Okay, you need to keep that non-dominant hand out of the way. All right, now there's several reasons for that. Okay, if the person gets too close, you could use it as like a shield, right? You could use it as a like a way to help you up off the ground or something like that, right? Which is why a lot of push-ups are important. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have to, you know, maneuver off of, you know, the side of a house or a building or whatever the case may be, you have this non-dominant hand to assist you and help you move, okay, or help defend that attacker off of you, okay? So again, one more time. So I see the threat, knees slightly bent. I see him coming. Non-dominant hand, weapon. All right, that's all I'm doing, right? And notice how my trigger finger is staying off the trigger the entire time until that person comes, or until I know I'm gonna take the shot, okay? So, got that one out the way. Now we're gonna do a concealed carry holster. All right. Now before I got my weapon light, I did have this holster majority of the time. It's a Warrior Land holster. I got it from Amazon. These are relatively cheap. You don't have to go out there and buy the most expensive holsters out there. The other one I have is a Bravo Concealment. This was about $35 because it fits the weapon light that I have. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my weapon light back up on there because I love my little weapon light. If it'll go on there. All right, now, take a quarter, and what you're gonna do is basically tighten that down. I think it's on there. Uh-oh, yep, see, it wasn't on there. Okay, just tighten it down with your hand, and you take that quarter, give it a nice little turn, and then boom, there you go. All right. So I find it a little bit easier to put the holster on first, and then you can add the said weapon. Okay. Now, I know a lot of y'all are asking, well, why would you point the gun down at your junk? And you see how easily that is concealed, okay? Really can't even see anything, all right? Cool. People wouldn't even know I had it on me. So, majority of people be thinking, okay, well, why are you pointing a gun down at your jump? Okay, if it blasts your thing off, you out of, you out of luck. That only happens when you don't have a good holster. Okay, so that's why I said earlier, stay away from the nylon. I would try to stay away from leather holsters. Stay with Kydex. Okay, Kydex is basically a very, very, very hard plastic. Okay, it does still bend. Okay, still bends like any other plastic, but it is a lot more durable. It is a lot tougher, a lot more reliable, and you don't have to worry about a negligent discharge. Okay, so accidentally pulling the trigger. So every Kydex holster has a trigger guard. Okay, you can see here where it's outlined to protect any foreign object or anything from accidentally pulling the trigger. It actually outlines the exact shape of that trigger. Okay, so that's why it's really important to get a Kydex holster. Okay? Again, you don't have to spend $50, $60, $70 on a holster. Of course, the more money you spend on it, the better it is. You do get what you pay for in the world of firearms. Well, for the most part, I will say that. Okay. Now, as far as concealed carrying from an appendix, okay, this is what you call appendix carry. All right. Appendix is basically like a 12 o'clock. You'll hear appendix 3 o'clock, which is right at the right side. The 4 o'clock is right there beginning at your back pocket. And then the 6 o'clock is like back here somewhere. Okay, like, 6 o'clock position. Okay, so I like to carry appendix because it's easier for me to draw from that position. I'm able to utilize 2 hands. Okay, now, excuse me. Now, when you're drawing from appendix, if you're just wearing a shirt, just pretend that this is my shirt, okay, and not a hoodie or a sweater. If you're just wearing a shirt, of course, you're going to put your shirt down over your gun. If you are wearing a sweater, I highly advise tucking in your shirt, okay? Because what's going to end up happening is, and I'll show you real quick, if you have your shirt and your hoodie over your gun, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have a few people who like to grab their hoodie here and pull up. And when you try to grab that gun, you see how your shirt is already in the way, which is why I like to keep my shirt tucked in the wintertime when I have my hoodie on. Okay, the hoodie is already concealing it. Okay, you don't need an extra layer of clothing to conceal it. Okay, don't even worry about it. Don't even trip about that. Okay, so there are 2 ways that you can remove your garment to grab your weapon. A lot of times you got people who grab their shirts here, okay, and then lift up, okay, and it really depends on how tight your clothes are, right? This one is not as stretchy as I would like it to be. I bought it a couple years back before I started gaining weight, but now it fits a little bit more snug. Normally what I like to do is I will grab down here, okay? So I'll grab here and get that nice draw going, okay? That's all I'm doing is one smooth motion, okay? This time you're utilizing both of your hands in order to get that weapon up out of there. Okay, now there are some cases where you're gonna have to fight off the attacker. You're gonna have to use that one hand and get to him like that. Okay, but if you have a little bit of distance, if you've been paying attention to your surroundings, not to say that, every situation is gonna be perfect, but try to stay situationally aware so that you at least have time to react. Okay, so what I like to do is I'll keep my hands down by my side. If I know that somebody is coming to attack me, then yes, I will go ahead and engage in John Wick mode or Jason Bourne mode. All right. So again, I'm standing in my stance. Let's say I'm walking. I see a threat, guy with a knife. He's coming up to rob me. Okay, simple. Okay, simple transition. It's as smooth as possible. Okay, got to make it as smooth as possible. You can't have any hangups, can't have any hesitation, can't have any doubt, because then that's when you start getting messed up. That's when you get yourself killed. So, how did I make that such a smooth transition? Basically, what I'm doing is I'm taking my non-dominant hand. Okay, I am simply grabbing the bottom of my garment, shirt, sweater, hoodie, jacket, whatever the case may be, pulling straight up, and I'm bringing it all the way up here. Because if you do it way down here, trying to or draw that weapon, it's a possibility that could get hung up, and then you got all of this, right? Which you don't want to have, okay? You want it to be as smooth as possible. I'm grabbing my hoodie, snatching it all the way up here. Don't worry if it rips. If it rips, that's cool. You can go get another one. Bringing it all the way up here, and at the same time, right, since this hand is a little bit higher up than this hand, snatching this all the way up, and it's coming up at the same pace. Again, web of your hand up to your beaver tail, gripping that weapon, snatching it up out of there, and that hand is meeting, and I'm coming back with it, okay? Now, as far as the footwork goes, again, we'll get into that stuff in another video. You know, try to stand your ground. Don't move backwards because you don't know what's behind you. Okay, so for example, y'all can see that ball right there, right? If I were to stand here and I kept backing up and trying to move out the way, and I accidentally stepped on that ball, we would have a problem. I would end up on my back. I could potentially miss a crucial shot, and that could cause a whole plethora of different problems. Okay, so again, we're gonna do it slow. And again, you don't have to have a weapon light. You can have a holster like this one that comes without the weapon light. It's totally up to you. It's up to your discretion, okay? So, again, I'm walking, or I see somebody coming at me, looking a little suspicious. They pull out a knife or a gun. Hey, give me your money. Now, if they already have a gun now, if they already beat you to the draw, this is not the movies. Just let them have what they're going to get, okay? Just let them take everything, okay? If I see them coming at me with a knife, or they're coming to harm my family or my loved ones or whatever the case may be, non-dominant hand, right? Snatching that bad boy up, boom, 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 all right? I'll take it a lot slower. And you see how I can look at the camera. Well, it is kind of cheating still, but I don't have to look down in order to holster my weapon because it's a natural, like a natural habit. I've been practicing this over and over again. So I encourage you guys to go out there and practice and train. Find an empty room in the house. If you don't have an empty room in the house, go outside in your backyard. Something. Continue to train and continue to get into the habit of doing these motions over and over again. I can encourage you guys to do it at least 30 times. You could do it about 30 times a day if you have the time. You could do it 30 times a day, every other day, whatever the case may be. Whatever works for you, just continuously do it over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, find what works for you. Okay, so again, one last time. Non-dominant hand, I see the threat. Snatching that bad boy all the way up there. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So, let's see. See the threat. See him coming. All right. See? So, I'm not, one of the things that you don't want to do from a open carry standpoint or a concealed carry standpoint is swing that weapon up. You don't want to swing it up. You want to bring it up. Since you're already pulling it up, right? Because you can't swing it out like that. Can't swing it out because it's already in a holster. It's already blocked by the belt, the holster, the pants, everything like that. So you have no choice but to bring it up, then straight out. The fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line. Okay, don't complicate things. Don't make it more complex than it needs to be. Even with a outside the waistband holster. I know that you have a lot of people that like to, like to swing up. Okay, don't do that. Bring it up, straight out. Okay, anytime that you bring it back anytime that you're checking your surroundings, right? After you pop that guy probably 3-4 times, bring it back, check, check. All right, look all the way behind you. Make sure there's no other threats. All right, always bring it back to your workspace. Okay, all right. So never swing up. Don't swing up. Don't swing up. Don't do this. I keep seeing people do this, and that's not helping. Okay, you already have the gun here. Already have it here in your workspace. Drive it out. Drive it out. Drive it. Okay. All right, guys. So that is all I have for you all today. I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you have any more questions or concerns, if you have anything that you may have like a little hesitation or doubt about, please feel free to inbox me. I do not charge for asking questions. I only charge for training. Y'all can contact me in my inbox. You already know who I am. I am the Art King. That's all I got for you guys today. Y'all have a blessed day. I had something on my face and y'all ain't tell me? Oh, okay. I think I'm good. Y'all have a blessed day.